I have a document here that has color pages and black and white pages. What if I want to know which page is what, and maybe the number of both of these, and then I want to output that from pdfToolbox. So I don't want to use the information inside of pdfToolbox, but I want an outside system, like a web-to-print system or an MIS system or Switch. I want that external system to know what these numbers are. How do I do that? How do I communicate from inside of pdfToolbox to the outside world? Well, I have two process plans here that show two different ways, slightly different ways of doing this. Process plan starts with a child process plan, and that is the one that calculates where the color and black and white pages are, and it creates 4 different variables that contain that information. I have the number of color pages and the number of black and white pages, and then a comma-separated list for the color pages and for the black and white pages. But that child process plan is not the topic of this video. It is the second step that is important here, and that second step is an action. So when I double-click, it will open up, and that action is the create file action. What does create file do? Well, first of all, I can give it a file name, and that will be the name of the file, the new file that is created. And then I can put content in here. And as you can see, in this case, I'm creating a JSON file. What this action creates is always a text file. So I could create JSON or XML or CSV or anything that is textual. And in this example, I give a type in this JSON output, and I add all 4 of the variables that were calculated by this child process plan. And I'm inserting pdfToolbox variables into the content. Now, the downside of this is that I have to put all of this content in this action directly. And this doesn't have syntax coloring or anything like that, so it's not always as easy to do so. And so I have an alternative. And the alternative is shown in the second process plan. And that second process plan is very similar. It has the same child process plan to calculate the variables, but then it has a step where you have a little bit of script, JavaScript. And that JavaScript does nothing but creating a JavaScript object, this JSON content object, that has all of the information, the same information as what you saw before in the action. And then it stores that in the app.vars area. And remember that that is the variable area within pdfToolbox where variables are stored as a process plan or a Preflight profile is executed. And so my third step in this process plan is now again this create file action, but the create file action where it says content is now only a simple variable. So all of the editing and the creation of this complex object that I want, that's all done in the JavaScript. And here I just refer to that variable that I stored in the previous step. And this is a much easier way to work with it. And so what happens when I run this? Well, whenever I run this, the process plan will create an output PDF file, and next to that output PDF, I now get this page information.json file with these pdfToolbox variables inside, and that gives me something that my MIS system, for example, can ingest and where I pass it the information that it needs. That's how simple it is.